Welcome back to Collective Perspective, guys. Today it is time for episode 33, and Craig has asked me if we could do an episode that I have no idea what the topic is. I'm a little nervous, but I trust Craig, so here we
You
go.
should be nervous. You should be. No. I have breaking news just because I thought it'd be fun to talk about it on this show.
Oh.
You are now closer to finishing the GameCube set than me.
Oh, no. What are you talking about?
So I didn't sell everything, but I sold just the Black Label set, the 554. That is no longer with me.
I'm not disappointed. I feel bad for you.
Why do you feel bad for me?
Because I know you didn't want to do that. Whatever it is, I'm
So-
sure you didn't want to.
So I did and I didn't. It obviously hurt and I didn't really want to. But, just thinking about planning for the future and different things like that, it was the right move without selling stuff that I thought would be harder to get back. So as many as you know, I also have a 3DS set, and I'm very close to finishing up the Vita set. I've struggled a lot more with those two systems than I ever did with GameCube, honestly. And in talking about value, selling Vita and 3DS together would close approximately be probably about what the GameCube was, give or take. I think it would be a little bit more, but it's also because it would have been more games. So just, with the trajectory of my life, planning for the future, getting ready to get married in September, and all these other different things that I have going on, I figured it was just the best move to go. And it's something that's, it's not something that I can't ever get back. Like, I didn't sell the Duo Pack or any of my weird, crazy variants. It was just the base 554 set. And yes, some of those games are expensive, but none of them are impossible to find. We've talked about that. There isn't really any truly rare GameCube games. And I was even smart, and I did things like I didn't sell any big boxes. So, like, for example, I sold Pokemon Box, but I kept the big box, I kept the memory card, and I kept the memory card
Wow.
stickers, things like that. So I was clever about it. I tried to make it so that certain things like that will be easier on myself in the future, because if you get a fully complete Pokemon box, it's obviously going to be more than just a regular Pokemon box. If a game had a special Nintendo Power insert, like Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, for example, I took that out and kept it. I have, like, a stack of just, like, special inserts for games and things like that. I didn't get rid of any soundtracks or special editions, no consoles, no Player's Choice, so I still have the full Player's Choice set. But yeah, it just felt like the right move for me at the time, and I don't know. Part of me is I was sad at first, but now I'm kind of excited to collect for it again. Like, I went to a store the other day and they had a couple of GameCube games, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna grab these because now I need them. And putting them back on the shelf, it was kind of fun to get that feeling back again. Like, obviously I never stopped collecting, but I feel like it's been a while since I kind of had that, like, that kind of serotonin hit, I guess is the
Oh
best
my
way
gosh,
to put it.
the other day in Discord, didn't you say I was thinking about buying some GameCube games?
Yes, I did. So that was intentional. And also, shout out to our buddy Vinny, who actually, we have a little group chat with a couple
Oh
of
my
friends,
gosh.
and he texted out saying, "Hey, the store in Nevada got a whole GameCube set. Was that yours, Craig?" And I was like, "No, wouldn't that be crazy though?"
I
It was
can't
mine.
believe it.
You were right, Vinny. It was mine.
Honestly, I'm happy that you saved it for this moment. I feel like that was a good idea. This is crazy.
Yes. Do you have any questions for me?
Well, this whole friendship relied on you having the GameCube set. I don't even know how to go forward at this point.
No, I mean, why else would you hang out with me? It was that GameCube street cred.
Oh my gosh, Craig. Yeah, I'm not surprised that you're already enjoying picking up games for it again. Like, the whole 554 is going to be a blast. I think that was genius not selling the box for Pokemon Box because you wouldn't get it again. You're not spending freaking 20
no.
grand on that thing.
No, and that's the thing is I still have the goal of never spending $1,000 over a game, so I'm gonna find a way. I'm gonna get me a Pokemon box for cheap, just like I did the first time. If I could do it twice, I could do it a third time, because how many people have gotten Pokemon box for 50% of price charting value? So
You're such a spontaneous person, and you can do things like this, like with out of nowhere, seemingly. And I could see you finishing the GameCube set a second time before I do. I could honestly see it.
Of course I would love to, but I'm not gonna go crazy about it. I don't want to spend any money I don't have or anything like that. Obviously when you find a deal, it can be tempting, but I'm trying to make sure I do it right. In the past, I spent more than I should have on certain things just out of impatience, but part of that was because when I finished the GameCube set originally, a lot of games you couldn't find. Like if you wanted to find Red Card 2003, if you wanted to find Goblin Commander, like games like that, if you look them up on eBay now, there's plenty of copies available. Back when I was collecting for the set, there was no copies available. It was super weird. It's like once GameCube became the hot thing, all the games kind of started showing up more just because, everyone wanted to sell their GameCube games and cash out while they could. So part of me wonders if it'll be easier this time because there's always multiples of every game on the market available. Like, there isn't really any GameCube games that I think if you look up right now, you'll find like 2 to 0 copies. I would bet that you could find anything right now if you look that up on eBay. So availability is a little bit easier. Pricing, of course, is way worse. I think about how I spent, like $60-$70 on Go-Go Hyper Grind or $200 on Pokemon Box, things like that. Like, obviously, I'm not going to get deals like that again, which is unfortunate. But, I mean, it's not a race. And it's funny, kind of thinking that I'm still starting out with almost half a set between all my variants I had and all the Player's Choice games. It's just not all, like, the base Black Label. But if it's a variant, it's a Black Label, I went and put it on the regular old shelf, and once I get my variants, I'll switch them around again. So, yeah. And I have all my Japanese GameCube games, too, so because I'm halfway to a Japanese set, I didn't get rid of any of those.
This is insanity. I can't believe this right now. I'm in shock.
Breaking news.
I'm thinking, like, what am I going to title this episode? Like, selling a GameCube set? Like, so...
Part of me wants to tell you how much, but if I do, can you bleep it out? Just because I want to see what you think of the price. I want you to just, like, say you think that it was the right move or the wrong move and bleep it out. Because I don't know if we need to let everyone know how much I made.
All right. Okay. I need to do quick math here. Think about how much that is
a little under per game, probably.
Let's get the calculator out. Oh, you guys can see my calculator. What a dummy. Okay.
So bleep out that average game price too, but I just want to see what you think of it, so.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's probably the going rate, honestly. I'd say that's pretty good because I'm thinking about how much it costs me to buy a freaking game every
paycheck
time or whatever. Yeah.
It's hard because, it's also hard to, find somebody that wants to buy something like that from you because it's not only a lot of money, but it's also a lot of pieces, so, but I was lucky I was able to find somebody right away, basically. So when I thought about doing it, I reached out to someone and they're like, hell yeah. They're like, let's go. So.
No, that's not bad at all, honestly. Like, I'm just sitting here looking at this number. I don't think that's bad at all, Craig. I think that was a good one. So did you keep... You said duo packs and stuff. So the Metroid combo pack, the freaking Darkened Sky, and whatever.
Yeah, so I did keep those because I don't know if I consider those variants or not, but if you were to ask the average person, they would say that they are variants. And the argument I've heard is that, you could have a loose Metroid Prime disc and a loose Wind Waker disc and be like, oh, there's my combo pack, but it's loose, And it's like, I kind of can understand where that's coming from. I believe you consider those variants as well, don't you?
Yeah, 554 is what I go with.
Yeah, and that's okay. For a long time, it was 558, and then a bunch of people like you started wimping out because they didn't want to search for these.
I can't stand you right now.
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I did keep those double packs. So that was Metroid Prime Wind Waker Ocarina of Time, Pac-Man Versus, which only comes in Player's Choice, and then
Darkened Sky.
Darkened Sky and Outlaw Golf. So I did keep those, and I have all my fun variants still, so, yeah. So, it's been an interesting couple of days, because I sold it just this last weekend, so it's still weird walking into the game room and seeing the shelf be kind of empty, because I got used to having all those games for so long, but I think it'll be fun to do it again. Like I said, I got some GameCube games the other day, And I went home and I felt happy because I was like, it's kind of fun to just be getting these again. I've always enjoyed collecting, and I enjoy collecting for a variety of things, but the GameCube is always going to be my favorite. So the idea of doing it all over again, while the pricing is a little scary, the idea of just accumulating all those games once again, I think is going to be really fun.
I think you should start tracking. I mean, this is totally up to you. You should start tracking the what you pay for each one. See what the total set cost you at the end of the day, in 5-10 years, whatever, how long it takes.
That'd be awesome, and then see if I broke even in some way almost.
Right? Yeah. Exactly.
That could be interesting. I might do that. I like that idea. I don't know if you watch him, fellow YouTuber Get the Greg Games. He posts, or he does a video series where he shows he's been documenting how much he's paid for every game he's bought for like the last 10 years. And I'm like, man, I kind of wish I've been doing that. I feel like that's a cool idea to see how things have changed over time.
Yeah, so I watched that recent video that was I commented and said that I've kind of been doing that for about 3 or 4 years now, but it's really cool for the people that like him who have been doing this since the 2000s when things were dirt cheap. What was his, like a 2016 video or something?
I think it was something like that, and I think I started probably late 2014, early 2015, so somewhere around there. So it's almost been 10 years for me of collecting video games, which is terrifying because I'm getting old. But the first two expensive games I ever bought that made me want to collect, Earthbound. I got it with my tax return from college that year. And then Fire Emblem Path of Radiance complete for, I think it was like $85.
554 games just gone. Your house weighs like 500 pounds lighter now. I mean, what
Probably.
the heck?
It's like I said, it's really weird to look at the shelf and see it so empty, but it'll be fun to see it start to fill back up again. And I mean, I kind of got a head start anyway with all my variants and stuff, so it's kind of nice to not start at zero, I think it would have been a little bit more disappointing if I had no games on the shelf.
How on earth are you ever gonna find another Bust a Move 3000, Craig? The rarest game.
Now there's like 10 copies on eBay at all times, so.
That and, no, honestly though, you were talking about the, there's no rare games, and 0 to 2 is like not a thing. Disney basketball is probably gonna be a pain. I mean, it's already
definitely
a pain because the money, but like the CIB copies are scarce.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the only people that are buying that game are, very hardcore GameCube collectors, so it's like there's not a ton in circulation. But I don't know. I mean, I had way harder time finding games like I said, like Goblin Commander is one of those ones that literally took me like 2 or 3 years to find a complete copy, And it's like now there's plenty around. So I think that eventually, the market ebbs and flows. Things are going to be coming kind of in and out of stock on eBay, but nothing's gone forever. And I think I also have the benefit of knowing what's hard to find since I've done it once already. So it's like if I find that uncommon sports title that most people don't realize is kind of uncommon, then it'll be easy for me to, just be like, all right, cool, pick that up, grab it, get it out of the way.
This is so crazy.
Because there's still plenty of GameCube games that are, $30 or $40 under that are way harder to find than your Cubivores and your Gotcha Forces and things like that. So it's almost like my mindset going into it now is like, all right, the expensive games are already very expensive. None of them have really gone up much more except for maybe Pokemon Box and Disney Basketball. They have all either kind of leveled out or gone down a little bit. So I think my approach is going to be to just ignore those for now and go for the games that are still more affordable but harder to find. I think that's probably the route for me to go at this point, because none of the expensive games are going to drop like crazy, but I also don't think that they're going to go up much higher than they already have. They've already peaked and gone back down a little bit. Like Cubivore is like $750, $800 for a while, and now it's been sitting around $500 for quite a long time. So
we lived through the great spike of 2020. I don't know if anything's ever going that high again, but we'll see.
One of my biggest regrets was not documenting all those eBay sales back then when there was that one guy selling all the crazy variants and the duo pack and
Oh yeah.
all the double packs and all that. I wish I would have like screen recorded and took pictures of everything. Because that'd be so fun to make like like the nerdiest like documentary of all time on that like 5 other people would care about. Because it's like so many people people found out variants from that they didn't even know existed, and like all this crazy stuff for like weird inserts that came with random games. And whether or not your copy had that insert was completely random. Like people are opening up their new copies of Hot Wheels games to see if theirs came with this scratch off that no one could figure out where it came from and stuff.
On
It was a wild
GameCube?
time. Yeah,
Wow.
the 2 Hot Wheels games, they both had like a special insert, but whether or not your copy had one wasn't indicated anywhere on the outside. It was completely random if yours came with it or not. It was super weird.
Wow.
So a lot of interesting stuff like that. I don't know. It's gonna be a good time though. I'm kind of looking forward to it. So I've already gotten a few cheap lots on eBay. So looking forward to my personal Christmas every day. But
Wow, I can trade you my duplicates and vice versa. This is a new
You could.
Craig right here.
you could now there's finally time for that kind of thing to happen. I already have
Wow.
3 copies of Shrek 2 if you need that.
Wow. Well, if you have any questions for Craig, please drop comments, join the Discord, all that great stuff.
Yes, of course. The only thing I ask is please be respectful about the price thing. I just feel like that's a little too personal to talk about. But other than that, I'm willing to answer any questions if you guys have any. So, or any tips for collecting GameCube. I mean, I've said before, but I'm not a secret keeper. If you want to know some uncommon games to look out for, I'll let you all know. So,
I just can't believe you went.
unless Christian needs them, because then he might not want me to spill the beans if he doesn't have it yet.
I just can't believe you went in the Discord and said, I've been thinking about buying GameCube lately. I was like, what does that mean, Craig? That's hilarious.
I got you all. Had you all goofed. Had you all fooled
All right, we'll see you guys in
in the next one.
episode 34.